Hey, welcome to the Tech Capital of the World, Kernersville, North Carolina. My name is Bobby Davis, CEO and founder of Coder Foundry, and I'm joined by Kevin swinging the beats this morning. I like the slow jams.
I know, they're a little bit chilled, a little subdued today, aren't they?
Yeah.
I thought that when I was playing it, I was like, oh, this one feels a little bit more of a downer than an upper. Like, I was like,
Right,
maybe we'll go more up on Thursday. I don't know, we'll see.
Okay. All right. I hope everyone's doing well today. Thank you for watching us from wherever you are at. Hopefully you're having the greatest weather in the world like we are today. So hope it's not.
Yeah, I heard today's our last nice day for a minute. It's supposed to rain.
Yeah.
So
Yep.
it's, whatever. I'm supposed to get an outdoor TV installed tomorrow. So
Okay. That's kind of cool.
right? So we'll see if that happens, weather-wise.
Right.
But yeah, should be cool.
Much football outside.
Exactly. So that's the plan from summer. So we'll see how that goes. So we're not doing a portfolio review today. We're going to do that on Thursday, I think.
All right.
Switching up the days a little bit this week. So we'll do our Q&A today, and we'll do the portfolios, I think, on Thursday. So I thought we'd just jump in for a Q&A. So if anybody has questions, as normal, if it's your first time here, this is how it works. Basically, throw them in chat. We will take a look at them. And I'll pull them in whatever order. I will basically queue them up, and we will answer questions as we go. If you want to super chat, you can do that too. If you want to jump the queue, you can do that. It costs you as little as $1 to super chat a question. And we'll guarantee we answer those ones. Otherwise, we'll do as many as we can.
Or if you just want to buy me tacos, I'll take that too. So,
Well, that too. You don't have to have a question. That's,
Nah, you can just say, Bobby looks like he needs a taco.
That's optional, right? Hey, Austin. Thank you for being here. Thanks for being a channel member too. We appreciate it.
Yeah.
Thank you for
What's up, Austin? How you doing, man?
And
Can we
hey,
say hello to some people real quick?
and hey, everybody else too.
Yeah.
Why we're here? Make sure this is working. There we go. Yes.
Hello, Austin. What's up?
Hey, Austin. Hey, Solomon's here too.
Yeah.
Solomon. Antoine's back.
Antoine Coates.
Is this Bartheus? I hope I'm pronouncing that correctly. Let me know if I'm saying that right. If not, put pronunciation for me. I do like pronunciation guidelines sometimes.
Yeah.
It could be Bartheus. Bartheus.
Bartheus. We could just say Bart. That's what we do here in the U.S. We shorten everything.
Right.
Everything is a nickname.
In the West in general, we tend to butcher like just about every name from every other part of the world, don't we? Like it's pretty good at that.
It's got more than 2 syllables. We have trouble.
A superpower. Exactly. So Ryoku's here too, and Shane's here too. So hey, everybody.
What's up, Shane?
Thanks for coming and hanging out. Mikey wants to know how close is the portfolio from scratch course to being done. What do you like?
Pretty close.
3 videos away, maybe?
Yeah, 3 videos away. I think it is. We'll get it done this week.
Yeah, it's pretty close. We're
I
working
just
on some other things.
sidetracked. I got sidetracked with something else that we had to do.
Exactly. So I sidetracked Bobby into making me something. So here's what happened. The LMS that we have has some limitations, right? It is what it is. And we do have access to more than just the builder tool that's in it, right? So we have access to some of the code as well. So we have the top tier of the LMS, and it gives you access to some of the code. So we're like, well, what we wanted to do was we wanted like a table on the course page, right? So when you go to the course, you can kind of see all the individual steps without having to sign into the course. Now, what they don't have is that as an option to add to the page. So we're like,
there's no such thing as a table of contents.
Exactly. So we need
anything
so we
like
wanted
that.
A course table of contents before you bought the course, right? So you can see exactly what's in it, all the steps, and then how long the videos are that are in it. Because we have a lot of content, right, behind a paywall, and people often are like, well, I don't want to buy it because, I don't know how much is there. Like, what if it's just like I'm paying these guys $100 and it's like 3 videos? Even though we say it's not, you never know.
Videos.
Right, exactly. Just 3 meme videos, that's it. So we know how people buy because we buy the same way, right? We look at the course content, so like I want a detailed kind of curriculum. So there was no native way to add that, so then I was like, well, we could type it in. But then you've got to build out all the code as well, all the HTML, all the CSS, all the JavaScript. You've got to type it in. And the interface to type it in is disgustingly bad.
There's the text box about this big on the side of the page.
Yeah.
So I'd have to like code in that little text box.
Yeah.
And then we're talking about 384 individual steps inside the .NET Bootcamp course. Just that course alone, 384 steps. So like,
yeah,
and we want it to be collapsing menus and all this other Bootstrap stuff that we wanted it to do. And
right.
so you can't type it in that box.
Exactly.
Well, I mean, you could.
Oh,
better men than me could.
You could, but I'm not volunteering to do that. It would be terrible. It would be really bad.
Right.
So
I'm sure there's a comment right now. I code on my phone, boys. I know what you're saying.
Exactly. It would be like that, wouldn't it? It totally would be like that. There's no IntelliSense. There's no nothing in it. So then we're thinking like, okay, so we can code it externally and we can just copy and paste it in, right? So that's what we were thinking next. It's like, well, we could do that, but like we have to build this for future courses too. So we came up with the idea. You came up with the idea of like, let's build a tool. Let's build a tool that can build a table of contents for us. And that way, I can just input all the data into the tool, and it'll spit out the code for it. Split out the HTML for me, right? And I can just paste it in.
Right.
So that's what we're doing. Right. So that's what.
That was last week.
Well, as everything goes, this kind of it's a bigger tool.
It's way harder than you think. Like it's so people go, well, that took you 4 days to write. I'm like, yeah, and a Saturday and a Sunday, but like, it's more difficult than you think.
Yeah, but it's cool. It's good, and it's almost there. So that's what we're adding to our course pages here soon. There'll be a full table of contents before you actually get into the course, so you can see everything that's in there and all the videos that are in there and all the content's going to be listed in there. So that's coming soon. Because when the tool's done, I've got to actually use it. So I've got to type in 380.
Before anyone asks, I'm not making a video about how I made the tool.
Tools for internal use only, right?
It's for internal use only, man. So the power of JavaScript.
So, trust me, we've made a recommendation to the provider of the LMS that says, hey, like just add this. It should just be a widget for you guys to create. They already have the data. Like they should just be able to give me a widget that I can add outside the at the side of having a user account that says just add all the course details to a page. Like that would be super easy.
But they're saying, but that would take recursion. I'm like, I know.
Yeah, I've been working on it. Yeah. So that's what we've been working on. So and then we'll get back to the interview course
making videos, making content. So we'll get back to that soon.
Yeah. So
it's coming. It's gonna be cool though. Be almost there.
Yep.
Yeah, just ask a question. See if anybody's got any questions here. Give us a like if you want to. Also, we could talk about the our giveaway. So if you don't know, we're giving away stuff. So you can hit the QR code or go to.
It's easy to look at when it's here because then I can do that.
Yeah, I can always do that. So.
Yeah. So when we hit 100,000 subscribers on YouTube, we're going to give away a laptop and a VR headset. So
ask your mom and your cat or dog or whatever and give us a sub. We'll give it away sooner rather than later. So I don't know what our current subscriber is. I'll look back here on the
81
something like that.
Something.
Yeah, we're going slow, so we need to pick up the pace here. We'll be here all year.
Mine's just changing now. Well, I was thinking about changing.
Yeah.
Mine's not changing. I don't know why. Just constantly stuck on the weather. Maybe it's just like it knows there's nice weather. So, one other quick thing to talk about before we jump into some questions too is, so we talked about last week about that the Mac Studio, which I don't know if anybody got one yet. I haven't got one. I'm not going to get one. I bought a new MacBook Pro. I don't think you're going to get one either, right? You've been like, oh, should I get? Or should I not get one?
It's cool, but the problem is Windows support it just isn't there yet, and I have to have that. So I don't want to go to the M1, even though I would love to have it for creating videos and exporting.
Yeah,
just exporting MP4 MPEGs out of Camtasia would probably be 3 times faster.
Oh yeah, it's very fast at encoding video, like very, very fast. It's night and day. But
it is what it is.
Yeah.
So I'm just gonna get a beefier Windows PC and get rid of my MacBook, I think.
Okay. Back to the PC side of stuff.
Yep.
But anyway, so the other piece of hardware that came out at the same time as that was the Studio Display. Right? And we joke here. We've joked about the display, the Pro display here, plenty of times, right? This ridiculously high-end like machine that comes with, doesn't come with a stand.
Yeah.
So this headline sort of is really bad for the display. Nothing to see here. I was like, wow, look, and one terrible camera, so they subline it. So I'm like, man.
3 mics and 6 speakers.
So this part they say is great. Speakers and mics, if I come down here. So they say the speakers and mics are great, which everybody I've seen the reviews for say the exact same thing. And it is the only decent 5K display on the market. But some of the stuff, the webcam, like, hold on, you got to see this thing. There's an image down here of somebody using it. Look at this thing. It's bad. I don't know if this translates for you guys watching this on the stream, but it's bad. It's not like it's not just not good. It's actually bad, which is kind of crazy for an Apple product, because it's apparently the same camera that's in a bunch of iPhones, but maybe it's somehow not optimized. It shows you how far software can go, right?
Right. Yeah. Exactly.
It's not running the same software, I guess, is what it is. So
no
that's
HDR
kind of
either, man.
No HDR, and actually, and only a 60 hertz refresh rate too.
Yeah,
it's not variable, or it's not 120. It should be 120 at this point. Like that's just bad. The phone panels are 120.
The adjusting height is $400.
Yeah. See, we make this joke about the Pro display not coming with a stand, and they're like, "Oh, this one comes with a stand." Yeah, but you can't adjust the height. You want to adjust the height? Yeah. $400. Like, see, that's nuts. I don't understand that part at all. Like, why there's this? They know there's an issue.
I just wouldn't want the stand. It just. Buy your own kind of monitor mounts.
You can't.
I know. Is it Visa on the back?
Nope.
Tiny Visa on the back.
Nope. It is apparently stuck with the stand, and whichever one you choose, you're apparently stuck with it. So it's so strange. They just cannot get this part right. I mean, clearly they know it's an issue. Why would you launch it with 2 stands, right? Why would you launch one adjustable for $400 and one that's just set? Because they wanted to keep the price at $1,600, right? The real price is including this $400 to adjust it. So they should have just launched it at $2,000 and had the correct stand with it. Like, it's insanity.
For $400, they send you a phone book, and you just put it underneath the current stand.
Well, that's true. That's true, actually. You can see, height adjustable is like the budget height adjustable is like a really boring book. Right? It's like War and Peace, or, The Hobbit or something underneath it, something really long.
I guess phone book shows my age. They really don't make those anymore, but
they do. We had one delivered, but it's like this thin now.
Really?
Like,
oh, okay.
It was tiny. I was actually surprised. We actually got one, like a yellow page, like phone book. I guess not like the old school phone books, but traditionally phone books were like this, weren't they? They were like there was the strongman competitions to rip the phone book in half. You remember seeing those?
Right. Yeah.
It was like a big deal to be able to rip a phone book in half.
But Apple, it's kind of crazy. I'm definitely not getting a stand. There's better 5K monitors out there. I don't know. They say it's the only good one, but I'm sure there's some better ones out there.
Yeah, but the thing is, does it have to be like the 5K one? Like, I don't know. No. They were selling. Somebody mentioned they were selling the LG monitor, the 5K, for a while, and Apple were pushing that. So I don't know. You don't need to have the 5K. You can have the 4K one. I get it. But, like, kind of crazy. Yeah, not their best.
It's not $600 wheels, but a $400 adjustable height stand.
Yeah.
Extra.
Yeah.
So it's kind of crazy.
Yeah, they've done really bad with that kind of additional stuff, missing out features and trying to sell it at a lower end, which people accused them of doing that. Don't forget when the iPhone came out, and it was one of those things where they're like, where they dropped the charger, right? Or they, what else did they remove? They removed the headphone jack, right? So people are like, you got to buy a dongle for the headphone jack. That's a rip. Or you don't come with a charger now. Every phone company on the planet basically copied them after that. So it's like, clearly that was the right move. So they do make the right move sometimes, but not all the time.
All right, let's see what some questions got going on here. We got any questions? Anybody have anything?
Just a quick one. Mia wants to know, what's your Discord? You can get it Discord in the link down below. I believe it is in the link for this video. If it's not, then I made a mistake. It should be down there. Let me know if it's not.
Yeah.
And you can join the Discord down there. Let me see. Somebody made a Discord. I see. You can't share links in the chat here, unfortunately, because we'd get spammed with all kinds of stuff, and YouTube doesn't allow that. So, let's do some questions.
Yeah, you have to sub up to be a question, right?
Yeah. So Denny wants to know, I heard from somewhere that if you get a referral, they often will skip the coding interview. Is that true?
Oh, for breaking in?
Yeah.
That's going to vary by company. I would say probably not.
Yeah, I'm going to edge towards no as well.
Yeah, I'm going to edge towards no, but that's very possible. It's possible. I would imagine they're at least going to want to talk to you, make sure you're a real person, you know what you're doing. So
yeah, you're really just skipping that first step, aren't you? Really, not that you still need to go through the I can code section, but you're skipping that first blind.
Yes, one thing that I wanted to bring up was an experience a student had the other day interviewing, and this goes back to building a portfolio of strong projects or whatever. This interviewer took one look at one of our grads' portfolio. They just recent grad, like last week. They took one look at the portfolio, the projects, the bug tracker, and all the things they built, and they said, I'm not going to ask you any questions. Your portfolio answered everything I need to know.
Wow, that's cool. Boom. That's cool.
So, and so I've noticed that too. When they told me that story, I do that instinctively. I'll look at someone's resume, and a lot of times I will adjust what I question based on what I've already seen. In other words, like, if you've been working at United Airlines for 15 years or you're a senior level job, I'm not going to ask you what, are strings immutable in C#. I mean, so right. Maybe I should, but like,
right.
And if you don't get that right, does that really change my decision? Typically what's crazy is that juniors probably get more grilling than seniors do sometimes in a lot of places, so that portfolio can help you overcome even some of those questions too as well. So think about that. If you want to skip that coding, I can't guarantee you'll skip it, but a better portfolio gives you a better shot, Danny.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, I would say the referral only jumps you past the first kind of pre-screening part, right? Like maybe the speaking to the HR person, you get straight to the hiring manager.
At least you get an interview. Yeah, you go straight to the interview section. Yeah, so that's kind of cool.
Yeah, you're not getting screened out, and that does totally work, 100%. If somebody goes and like basically refers you or basically sends your thing straight to the hiring manager, your resume straight to the hiring manager, that is skipping the HR process. It totally does work.
We do that every day here at Coder Foundry for students. So like when students have their portfolio links and put together and they pass it to our internal recruiter, and then what they're supposed to do in their job search is they tell us when they apply for a job. Now, sometimes we're sending them out, but if you apply for a job we didn't send out for you, you tell our HR recruiter, and then that person calls the hiring manager directly and says, hey, we'd like to refer such and such for this role. That typically gets them an interview. It takes them off the stack and HR and then moving it out. It gives us a chance to pre-pitch the portfolio and say, hey, take a second and look at his portfolio link. Here it is. Let me email it to you. Boom, boom, boom. And that usually turns into interviews.
Yeah, it's somebody else just vouching for your work, isn't it?
That's all it is. And they don't even know us from Adam sometimes, but it just, they're like, I love referrals. Thank you. Thank you so much. And
right. They're like, yeah, exactly.
Get interviewed.
Exactly. Yeah. And it carries more weight too when they do know who we are. When we're literally like, hey, what if you have anything open at the minute or whatever? We saw somebody apply for this job. Like, and they'll be like, oh yeah, we're familiar with you, or maybe they hired another student or whatever it may be. Right. Our referral then kind of holds even more weight, which is great.
Right. Which means to get the referral at Coder Foundry, you have to graduate the in-person boot camp, and you have to build all the projects to a certain level.
Right.
Which means graduation. So.
Right. We have been asked that before, right? So we've been asked from people who have been in the self-paced boot camp, like, hey, I need a referral from an instructor. And that's not something we can do in the self-paced boot camp because
currently right now we'd have to validate everything, and we don't really have the bandwidth to validate them, but we may do that in the future. But there's more stuff we need to do where we can add more value in the course than trying to set up a referral. It'd have to be a paid service anyway, so we couldn't do them for free.
Right.
So.
Right. Okay.
See what else is going on. Who's got a question?
Let's see what we got. Austin has a question. Austin says, what's your advice on how to level up from junior dev to a senior engineer, then to principal architect? So going from bottom to top. Just time. Basically, when you go to senior in these other places, it's can you build a system from scratch? Can you design the underlying models? Can you come up with the features? Can you work with the business units to keep them from
destroying the products, because they do have ideas, but sometimes those don't turn into valuable software. So you have to take their ideas and then mold them into software. So that's basically, you're gonna have to learn how to build things from scratch a lot. And I would just do that a lot. And then it's just gonna take years to get up to that level. So that's kind of the difference.
Plus not being
some will get there faster than others.
Plus not being an information hoarder either, being an information
sharer.
So
like a gatekeeper or a kingdom builder. That's what we call it in the book, Breaking the Code, a kingdom builder, which is like you collect information and you don't tell anybody how to do it. You feel like your job security is built into your ability to know the secrets to all the code, whereas the truly principal architect is one that's sharing information, that works with the business units, that's easy to get along with, that tells everybody how things work, that makes the complex simple, instead of like purposely making things complex. And, I would tell you, but, your mind would explode type conversations you have with some devs.
Yep.
So anyway, I hope that helps, Austin.
Let's see. Mia says, I'm conflicted between the two, front-end development and UI UX design. I do want to do UI UX, but I won't be able to code, just design. If I was to do front-end, all I would do is code and not design.
I don't know if that's true.
Yeah,
maybe
I think these blur a lot, don't they? These are really
blur a lot. I think the more front-end UX, UI design skills you have, the better you are at front-end anyway, and the more valuable you are in the marketplace. We have companies that just hire people that can do front-end development, and they want them to code, but they say, can you get someone here that can like help us with the UI? So they may not have a UI UX position only. They've melded the two, and they're just trying to find someone who can help them with UI and UX. So having both skills is good. I would work on both of those, especially if you have the harder of the two is UI UX, because as we've seen of all the students that come through here, and we're not literally making fun of anyone, but like very few people we meet naturally can go, oh, that button looks good there.
It is not a natural skill for most people.
It's a learned behavior. And then color palettes and just design and stuff in general is just another skill that people have to build out. So
yeah, I would say obviously in larger companies and in larger organizations in general, these may be split, but I would say in a lot of places these things are combined.
And you have more value if you can do both. And just being pretty good on UI UX is just, you don't have to be a rock star at it. You could just be pretty good, and then people will love what you do. So I think you can do both. You can have it all, Mia. Do them both.
Exactly. I would definitely go for both of those. Let's see. Just a comment here, but Mela says, I've been applying for summer trainee jobs in front-end development. Haven't got any replies.
So look at your portfolio. What area are you looking into? And I don't know what summer trainee job sounds like. You're not in the U.S. Just guessing. Just using that term. We don't have that here.
I'm familiar with.
Yeah. So look at your portfolio, look at your stuff that are you sending in and how you're applying. Are you following up? Do you try to find someone that you can just call directly and say, hey, look at my portfolio. I think I can really do this. So hopefully that helps.
Okay. This is Rondinele. I hope I'm pronouncing that correctly. If I'm not, I apologize. Hello, how do I prepare for job interviews where I'm a beginner?
Okay, so let's say that you got an interview. One of the things that we talk about in Breaking the Code, also the interview course here, we go into great detail of like, how do you turn a technical interview question into a demo, which is our guidance, and our whole goal is to turn technical interviews into demos. That means you got to have something to demo. So, you got to start there. So if you have a portfolio of projects, then you walk in, when they ask you the first technical question, you try to relate that question to the job interview or to your projects. So if they ask you, hey, do you know anything about MVC? What is MVC? And you're like, okay, that's a design patterns model view controller. But then you could turn around and say, hey, I built an app in MVC. And one of those pages does this, and this is how I implemented that pattern on that page. Would you like to look at it? And I can walk through the code with you. That's what I do. That's how we teach in the interview, and that's our number one goal, how to do it.
There you go. Let's see. We go a little bit out of order here. Shane says, still early in the self-paced course, but at the end, since you can't help directly, any advice for getting myself out there in the job market?
Yeah. So build the portfolio, get those projects built out, and then you're going to look on LinkedIn and Indeed for jobs, junior level jobs. We look for them every day. They come up every single day. Just judging by your name and your profile picture, you're probably in the U.S. So in the U.S., we saw hundreds in the last 90 days or so, easy. Some days more than others, and depending on your location where you're looking in, there'll be more or less of those in each location that you are. Some are remote, some aren't, some are in person. But basically what you do is you apply and make sure that your portfolio is front and center on your resume, on your LinkedIn profile. Make sure your LinkedIn profile has a skills in the title. Your skills should be in the title on LinkedIn, so recruiters can find you. And then you just keep working with recruiters, keep calling companies. And then once you apply, try to message them directly and say, hey, I just applied. I feel like I have a really good portfolio that matches nicely with the skills that you're looking for, and do that. And so you're going to be looking for, if you're coming through the self-paced course, .NET, C#, ASP.NET roles. So make sure your stack aligns with the jobs you're looking for. So don't just apply to everything and every stack. Pay attention to the years of experience that they're looking for, and look at the stack that they're looking for, and see how it aligns with what you've learned here in the course. If you do those kind of things, make sure that you're always aligned with all the jobs you have. You'll get more opportunities to interview. And then go through that interview course, learn how to use the interview questions to be able to turn those into demos.
So we talked about this last week, but just the tip around LinkedIn alone.
Yeah.
So just using this headline on LinkedIn, just to show how powerful this is, I searched for .NET developer on LinkedIn here. It literally, like all of these, the three that came up, look, all say .NET developer, .NET developer, .NET developer in their headline. So this is where this is coming from. It's searching. When people are searching this, that's what it's searching. It's looking in the body as well. But look, every single one of these has .NET developer in the headline. That headline is crazy powerful. Like,
so you can need to stack that. You need to stack those with all the stacks that you have and separate them by pipe or something like that, a pipe character.
Yep.
So if you type in C# developer, you'll get a different list.
Yeah. Typing that right. I'm not typing it right because I didn't do that. I'm still getting used to this keyboard.
Yeah.
So there you go. Look, C# developer, C# developer.
See that guy, Jeff Shore. Let's look at Jeff Shore. Let's click on it. So what he's in North Carolina. So Jeff Shore, let's just look at his profile. Number one, let's check that picture out. Let's look at this picture.
do we want to?
He could fix that. Yeah, but I like
this.
This
is funny. Yeah, he's no place like home t-shirt. It's a classic. We like it.
It's a classic, so it's not the worst picture I've ever seen, but it's kind of weird. It's kind of bad framed. It's not super pro, but apparently
he's also got a lot of experience, so he's not looking for
a lot of experience.
Just so we know.
Away with it. Worked at Yatel, Dorset, and working at Wake Forest.
Oh, do you know this guy then? Cool. He works at Yatel? That's funny.
I don't know him.
Okay, interesting. Yeah, we're familiar with that. We play students there, right? So
yeah, we have. So what he could do, what Jeff would do here is he could put C# and then a pipe character, .NET, and I would put
which if I go back, there was another one. Oh, doing that. Let's see. Rashmi here had exactly that look. Here you go.
There you go. That's closer right there.
Yeah.
So you don't have to put your title in there. You're just wasting your time. They're not searching for you by software engineer at company X. Right. That doesn't care. That's in your experience down below. I would take that off and just put the skills right there, man.
Yeah. Yep.
And use the word developer, engineer, whatever you want to do.
Let's see. DJ we're familiar with. Here you go.
Yeah, we can go to DJ.
Well, here's a perfect example. Software developer,
that's
C#
a good one.
.NET Core, Angular,
Perfect.
exactly, just like that. Here's another one. See, people have realized this is the way to do this. Like, this is stack your technology in your headline here, and people will find you based on that. And then you do that and set yourself to open for work. You will start seeing connections. You will start seeing movement on that.
Yep, promise. That's how you do it, Shane. That's one thing in LinkedIn, portfolio, work with recruiters, get it out there. You'll find work. You at least get an opportunity to interview. Good luck, Shane. Let's see who's next.
Just queuing up some more here.
Okay.
Let's see. Chris is up next.
I hope Jeff Shore's not watching it. I made fun of his picture. I'm sorry, Jeff.
Jeff's not looking for a job, though, so Jeff has a LinkedIn
That's
for other
right.
reasons, which is perfectly acceptable. What type of beefy Windows laptop are you looking at? Something to play Destiny on the high settings, I hope. No,
I've got it. No,
you're looking at
I've
actually a
got machine.
desktop, right? You're looking at
I'm
a
going to go
desktop
switch to
replacement.
desktop. Yeah, I'm just going to switch to desktop. And then I'm going to use things working from home, like with Git and syncing my settings between Visual Studio and VS Code between machines. And then between that and Git, when you start thinking about it, why do I need to take the computer home with me, you know?
Right.
And I don't a lot anymore. I used to a lot. I don't do that anymore. Usually I go home and I'm done for the day.
Yep.
And so I'm thinking about just getting a much larger machine so I can run multiple VMs on it, things like that. So I can have things like that.
Right.
But I typically don't have Destiny here in the office. I go home to play Destiny. I'm not in here rocking Destiny during the day.
Unless you're streaming the annual thing that you do, then you can do that for
the annual raid run. Yeah.
Annual raid run happens at the office, but everything else happens at home.
Yeah, we got a new one coming up this summer. Hopefully we'll win this one.
It was worth a shot, right? Let's see. Lukish wants to know what is highest package for full stack developer? What do you think?
Just about pay?
Yeah, I guess. Sure. Let's interpret it as that and just sure.
Yeah. So like I think that I don't know what the highest is. I think it all varies. You're going to be paid a lot if you're a full stack developer and you're good at what you do. So where you live matters. So if I say just salary here in North Carolina, you may be in San Francisco, New York, and be higher. So like you can make over 100K easily all day long as a full stack developer in the US.
Yep. I would even say on average. I would even say now on average, we need those new numbers again to come out because I would say that average has actually gone up too. It's higher. It was like 97, 98, right, across the US.
Yeah.
I guarantee you it's an average now into six figures because we're seeing people that are asking for, $200,000 after like 5 years experience. Right. So it's trending up. It's definitely not trending down. It's definitely going up. Let's see. Ganesh wants to know, how can I build a game in web?
He wants a game in the browser?
I guess.
You can use
not
Unity.
Flash.
You can use you can use Unity and you can deploy to the browser at Unity.
We've seen that. Yeah, we've seen that for some of our coding challenges. People made games in the browser too.
Yep.
Yeah. It's an interesting experience.
Yeah.
Let's see. My Daily Life Yo says, hey guys, I'm pretty weak at data structures and algorithms. Most of the companies I attend interview stress on them. Lost hopes of finding a job.
Don't lose your hope of finding a job. Go study these things. If you're running into that a lot, go to Geeks for Geeks and LeetCode and study them. I'm still amazed at this. Like, this isn't the hardest part of everything that you have to do. Like, also too, I would also make sure you have a great portfolio and that you can show what you can do. But like write down every single data structure algorithm question you're getting, and go pull up the website Geeks for Geeks. I guarantee you it's there.
Right.
It's there on that website. And all you have to do is study them and then make a list of the top 30 that you have and then know the answers to all 30 of those. Yep. They're in there. There you go.
lot in there is a lot.
Yeah, but see which ones that you're getting. So, like, if you're a junior, they're not asking about greedy algorithms, man. They're just not. They may ask a couple of questions about arrays and,
right.
I'm surprised this binary tree thing still gets asked, but like it does.
Right.
If you're seeing that, then answer these questions.
Yeah.
Learn it.
Yep.
Study.
But don't forget, here's the other thing too. You only need one yes. We've talked about this a lot.
One yes.
You need one yes. So if none of them ask the questions and one of them doesn't, and you can ace the one that doesn't, great, you're golden. But you're going to up your chances if obviously they do that you need to do this. It also depends on what job you're applying for. I saw a thing the other day and it was like, somebody was complaining like, why am I going for a front-end interview and they're asking me data structure questions? Like, and then people are like, I don't know. I don't know.
I mean, I don't know either.
The process is broken. The process is broken.
Maybe, but here's what I will say this. Let's say the process is broken. It's jacked up. It's, but people are finding jobs every single day. It is what it is. So you have to adjust to this, the situation on the ground, so to speak. In other words, like you just got to play the game to get in. And so like, you just got to start studying this stuff. So what I would say is, don't quit interviewing while you're studying. Every single interview, write those things down, and then put an answer together and see how you can improve on every single interview. Make sure you have a good portfolio. Try to turn a question into a demo. Try to demo before they even ask you a question. That's another kind of help too. So you've got to pass a technical interview to get a job. That's just the way it is. And so there is some study involved in that. That's why we have a whole course in and around the interview to help people study on the C# stuff. We don't have everything for every type of questions, and we didn't really go after data structure and algorithms because there's 1,000 websites that are put together out there right now. Geeks for Geeks, there's just a lot of them out there. Geeks for Geeks is the one. That Leak Code is the other one that's on.
HackerRank too does a similar kind of thing.
HackerRank has some stuff. CoderByte has some stuff. There's a lot of them out there.
Okay, let's see. Mia wants to know, how do you prevent headaches and strain when looking at a screen all day? I always feel exhausted when I code all day.
So yeah, I do suffer from migraines sometimes. I'm getting better at it because I reduced my caffeine intake. So
yeah, I actually did away totally with caffeine. I get way less migraines than I ever used to.
So I think that comes from that, but you have to get up and walk around. Blue blocker glasses like these work fantastic. Helps a lot with eye strains. So if you want to pick you up some Pixel eyewear,
link in the description.
You're just looking for some glasses and you want to, we are supported a little bit by Pixel eyewear. So like,
I think there's a 5%
affiliate. There's a coupon there. But they are great. They are fantastic. They are premium, so they're not cheap and fall apart.
I don't have a prescription in mind, so I have some too, just like yours. I don't have a prescription in mind. They are literally just blue light blocking. I wear them maybe like half the time. I don't wear them all the time, and I'm on today.
But you get blue light blocking at any glass vendor too. You don't have to go to Pixel Eyewear to do this. So if you want to get the lenses from your optometrist or wherever you go, then that's fine. If you just need to pick up a pair and you don't need anything, then gaming glasses do the same thing. Some are darker yellow. They have more blue blocking than the ones I have. They're mostly clear. It still has a little bit of a tint to it because there is a filter on it. But like, it does help. Absolutely helps. So get you some yellow glasses, man.
I would also say
gunners.
Take breaks as well. Dylan, thank you. We'll come to your question in a second. I would say also take breaks as well. Definitely. Like I have my Apple Watch remind me every hour to get up, right? Because in case I forget, like I'll be like 10 minutes to the hour, it reminds you, like, hey, you haven't stood up yet. Like I got to stand up for a few minutes and go like walk around. So it reminds me. So that's one thing you can do. Secondly, make sure you have your eyes like tested. Maybe you naturally need glasses. That can be a thing too.
The thing too that I do is I increase the font size in my editor. That helps a lot with eye strain too. So if you're used to reading it on an 11, maybe push it up to a 12 or 14 point font and just see how you feel with that. And if you're on a 26 point font, buy a bigger monitor.
Right. There's that too. You could sit with a TV right in front of you. I know some of you guys are doing that. Like there's big TV screens right in front of you. That's okay too. Okay.
Also some monitor settings, kind of stuff like that.
Yeah.
Two quick questions, Dylan. All right, let's ask what you got.
So let's see. Dylan wants to know 2 quick questions. Why would you create a REST API using .NET over, let's say, Node? Also, would you use .NET Web API even for smaller projects?
So, 2 reasons. Why would you create a REST API using Node? The obvious one is you want to use C#, okay? But let's say that you're language agnostic, which most people aren't. They say they are, but they're not really. They usually have an opinion on which way they want to use it. So let's say that you don't care. Why would if I'm a enterprise manager or I'm a dev manager and I'm trying to put together something and like, okay, what's our technology back end? We haven't picked it yet. I'm in a startup. What do I do? So I would pick REST API over Node 10-to-1 every single time. Number one, speed. It's definitely faster. Doesn't matter what people say, it is quick. So if quickness is part of your problem set, then you're going to be faster in the REST API. Can you write bad APIs and make them slow with C#? Absolutely, 100%. Just like you can write bad Node with JavaScript and it'll be slow as well. I think the templating, the tooling, and everything else is just superior to setting up Node. Development environment runs locally inside of Visual Studio. It's easy to deploy with GitHub, and of course Node's easy to deploy too. So I think those are the primary reasons, and then just the layouts and the templating and the tooling and everything around that building just makes them easier to build. So that's why I would do it. And for smaller project, doesn't matter how you build your APIs. There's nothing about Web API that makes it big. It's easy to do, especially if you want a Node-like experience. They have minimal APIs now in .NET 6 and 7. It makes it look a lot like Node, where you just put everything in one file and just write some functions down through there. It's fairly easy to do. I think if you're starting from scratch, and I've looked at both of them, that just getting going with a .NET REST API is way less complicated than setting up Node. Now, a lot of people say it's not hard to set up Node. That's because you're doing it. But like if you look at it and try to remove yourself from doing it, and I could literally open up Visual Studio, say, file new project, create a Web API project, and then bam, I've got edit, create, and delete functions right there set, ready to go. All I have to do is write code in there, and I hit the play button and it runs. It's pretty simple to set it up. Yeah. So that's kind of what I think. Can you get going with Node? Yes, I know that Node works. I mean, I'm not saying it doesn't work, but you asked me why I would do it.
There's lots of other things when you get Node up and running. It's like there's lots of other things, right? Like routing and stuff like that, right? You've got to figure that out. Like every single time, it's
security,
like this thing.
Security. You know, JWT tokens, all that kind of stuff. It's fairly easy to do that stuff inside of a .NET API. So, pretty cool, I think. And it's just lightning quick. And hey, you know what? You're going to find more developers that know how to do this than Node. That's for sure. There's a lot more people who would rather work on this than on the Node stuff. So if you're running a company and you're in a startup and you're trying to build a staff out, you're going to find more people in the .NET arena over Node arena for sure. It's just what I would do.
There you go. So Dylan, thank you for the super chat. We appreciate it.
Yeah, thanks, man. Hope that helps.
Okay, Hashia says, hello, Code Foundry. I have a problem with learning. I get confused a lot in technology and the projects. I think as a portfolio never gets complete. So I never completes a portfolio. I feel like I've wasted a lot of time, need help.
Okay, so first off, I don't know if you have a problem with learning. Maybe you do. All right, it's going to take you longer than everyone else. So what I tell everyone is, why are you doing this? Why do you want to be a coder? All right. So put that down and write it down on a piece of little notepad or somewhere you can see it, put it on your monitor and say, this is why I'm doing this. So that when you do struggle or you do get in trouble, you have a contract between you and yourself that says, all right, I'm going to do this. I'm going to keep doing this. Let's say that you're just a normal person, just like everyone else walking around. You don't have a learning disability. You're not dyslexic. Those kind of things. Assume that you're just an average person and you find this kind of difficult to learn. It does take a minute to do. So give yourself permission and time and space to do it. And it is learnable. You don't have to be a rock star genius to do this. This is a skill that can be learned that you can know. All right. So now focus your learning. Pick web development and just stay in web development, or pick desktop development and just stick in desktop development. Do not listen to the crowd that says it doesn't matter what you learn, just learn it all. Like just pick any language you want. And so languages are built in and around stacks, and stacks do specific things. So if you're going to pick web development, stay in web development stacks. If you want data science, stay in pretty much Python at this point. Stay in that arena when you're building Python with the mainstream tools that everyone else is using for that. So you don't have to pick the latest and greatest thing, pick the mainstream thing to solve the web problem, the desktop problem, or the data science problem, or the mobile problem. And then just keep doing that and building projects until you get better and better at it. So I think 3 months at Coder Foundry in an immersive environment, which is the way we do it, 40 to 50 hours a week, is 700 to 800 hours, I think is what you need to think about as far as your learning speed. So if you're doing that part-time on your own, that's going to be 6 to 9 months in real time, maybe as much as a year. So just think of it like that, to be a full stack developer. Now, front end, there's less to know, so you might could get there a little bit quicker.
Right. Just repetition will help you too. Don't forget.
Repetition.
Just keep at it. Build something once, go through a tutorial, do it again. You can
come to learn.coder Foundry, and just say learn.coder Foundry. And the way we do it is different than everyone else. Is you have to type everything in. There is a reason behind that. It's just proof that it works. That just typing in the code over and over again, eventually you acquire knowledge that way, but through sheer repetition. And then we had a comment here last week where someone said, "Yeah, I was watching him type something on the video, and like, that's wrong." And then the guy immediately backspaces over it. And so you're seeing it before even some other people do. So I think it does help. Don't give up though. Don't quit.
Yep, definitely don't quit. Definitely don't quit. James has a question. Hey James, I recognize James from Twitter. So hey James.
Yeah,
plans to
we're
sell
doing it right now.
Courses?
Yeah, so like you can bring up the interview course. That's our first one that that's new. That can be sold by itself. So you'll start seeing that from us.
Yeah. So we are. So here's the deal. We are. Let me see here. Where are we? Here we go. So we do have a couple courses right now. The Interview and Bootstrap 5 on our own platform. We do also have a free course in here as well. You can sign up for a free account and get access to the Netlify course. Which actually I need to add to this list too, now that I think about it, rather than just a free account as well. But we are also considering putting something out on Udemy as well.
Yeah, we may sell something on Udemy as well.
That's something we're actually looking at as well. So they'll be the same price as whatever we're selling them for here. So there is that.
So you're going to see, you probably will see C# courses, JavaScript courses this year that will break out from the whole platform, and you can just buy those individually. And JavaScript specifically, probably what we'll do is put those out as a one project course, or bundle some project courses together, something like that. But eventually you're going to see multiple courses that are smaller that you can just buy, like Udemy. So we do have a plan to do that.
Yep. Let's see. Yardley says, really appreciate the Coder Foundry subscription renewal message. Thank you for the opportunity you gave us. I really like the way you care about us. Well, thanks. Thanks, do. Man.
We try not to remove surprises from people, and just know that we realize like we want to be treated like we would be treated.
Yeah.
And we know the renewal's coming up, and it doesn't, because of the pre-launch and that kind of stuff, we try to make it as simple as possible and make sure everyone got a full 12 months.
Exactly. Exactly. So when we pre-sold this, the issue from our end was that when it renewed, because we'd pre-sold it and it renewed, and we cannot change the date that it renews.
We can't change it. It's just set in stone. Yeah. So we had to come up with a manual way to do it.
Exactly. Let's come up with a manual way to do it. So what we did was we reduced the subscription for the next year, or if you wanted to cancel, we just canceled it and extended your subscription out through like June, July 7th or whatever it was.
So that helps.
I'll be sending out another message too, just a reminder like, hey, subscription renewal's coming up. Just want to let you know, just heads up, Just just
Yep.
to give you the opportunity to know that it's coming. So
Yep.
it will renew on the date that you subscribe plus 1 year. So whenever you subscribed back in April of last year, it'll be on the same date this year. Let's see. Summit wants to know.
A few more minutes here. Let's see.
Yeah. Summit wants to know, I have stammering and it affects my interview every time. Any solutions? I'm 20 years old, had done 5+ internships, but not getting any good jobs.
So I have a little bit of experience with this, and we had a student come through Foundry that had the same issue, and he's working. And so if you have a therapist, then you can go talk to the therapist and see how you can do it. It involves slowing down, and sometimes it affects your stammering when you get nervous, but you just got to like learn to slow down and then keep working on it. That's all I can tell you. What I always tell people is you can work on the stammering part for sure, but it's like your age and everything else is like certain things are out of your control. And so like you just have to overcome those things. There's no magic pill to this. If you're only 20, man, like, dude, you're just so young. You got your whole life in front of you. So I think you can do well. I think you're gonna be fine. So, but we had a student, and I don't want to say his name because I don't want to I don't know how he did with it, but we talked with him early on, and then just own it, and then just slow down as much as you can.
Yeah, I think that's one of the techniques too. Is kind of owning it, right? You can say up front, like, "Hey, just."
Sometimes I stammer a little bit, but I know what I'm doing. So I'm gonna try to go slower here so I don't stammer, and then you can just. I think you can work on it. I don't have that particular issue, but sometimes I lose my train of thought sometimes too, and so I have to remind myself to think through it, slow down, think through it, and then think about what you were trying to do.
I definitely do that. I can be on one tangent and then be like jump off to another and be like I forget my original and be like, what was I talking about again? It happened to me on a Twitter Space the other day. I was like, I don't remember what I was going to say.
Yeah.
I don't know. Next. Okay.
Next question.
Let's just move on. Exactly.
But 20, you got plenty of hope. So just keep going.
Definitely.
20
keep
young.
going. Yeah. Eric wants to say, we're getting a lot of interviews and engagement from recruiters. I haven't finished the full stack projects and still getting interest. Okay. Thanks for getting me on the right track. Oh, it's awesome.
Tuesday. Taco Tuesday. All right. I got lunch now, Kevin.
Awesome. Right. Brian, thank you so much.
Thank
you so much.
Thank you.
Super generous with the super chat, and we appreciate it.
Yeah, you are, man. Appreciate it.
That's very cool.
Show them on the leaderboard. We'll put the leaderboard up.
And you got the little taco cat thing. You always like.
There you go. Yeah.
That's a good one.
All right,
Brian, thank you.
Let's get Eric's question here.
So it wasn't a question. He just had a comment that he's getting a lot of engagement from recruiters. He hasn't even finished the project yet, but he's getting on the right track. So, yeah. That's about. You probably have your LinkedIn set up right too, Eric. So if you want an example,
let's go look. Can we look at your LinkedIn, Eric? Let's go look up. Let's see what Eric's LinkedIn looks like.
Let's see. Hold on.
If we can find him, we don't know if we can find.
I don't know
Eric
if I'm
Bruce.
connected with him or not. I might be connected with him. I don't know. Yeah, I am. I'm connected with him. I recognize Eric.
All right, there's Eric. Got a big, awesome face. Technology specialist.
There we go. So you should fix this, Eric. Definitely.
Fix that.
Do what we were talking about earlier. Stack this with your technology right here.
Yeah.
So it's interesting too. You're not even saying like open to work on here either. So
yeah,
that's interesting as well. Change that.
You can reach out to recruiter and just internally. Yeah. So.
Yeah. Don't forget, like what happens on LinkedIn too is you don't have to. So there is this thing where people are like, oh man, I'm at a current job now. I don't want to like jeopardize that in any way. But what happens is, as long as you're listed at the correct company, right? So you're listed at wherever this is, Park County Board of Education, which actually is not recognized in here because maybe they don't have an icon. Maybe it is, maybe it isn't. I think some people, if they don't set up their icon correctly, like it doesn't like work right. But what'll happen is if you're open to work, people in that same organization won't see that you're open to work. So don't worry about that. It's like they've kind of had that figured. So you're connected to him as well, like mutual connection.
Okay, cool. Keep going, man. Software development fundamentals, MTA. I like it.
Yeah,
C#.
definitely. Yeah, you could build this out even more. Definitely. There's a bunch of stuff you could do here. Make sure your portfolio is linked here too. You don't have it up yet.
Yeah.
It's not. So you could put in this. There's a featured section. You can build out a featured section right here. I would suggest that too.
Cool. Awesome. Hopefully we didn't embarrass you, Eric. So that's awesome. He's getting a lot of engagement. That's awesome.
Yeah, definitely. Definitely. Let me see here. Try and pick some from what's left here.
Yeah, we got a few more minutes.
Oh, here we go.
For the road here.
Here's an interesting one. Caleb says, recently been trying to search JavaScript because a lot of jobs ask for it. They will. Every job will pretty much ask for it. But I'm really overwhelmed by the amount of JS frameworks available that they also ask for. Any advice?
Pick one and do that. And just interview for the people that are using that framework. So React or Angular or Vue.
Yep.
That's the
probably in that order.
Yep. That's what I think. I mean, you could interchange React and Angular. Vue is probably lesser, but those are the three I would choose from. And then I would build projects in and around with React and just go for full stack React projects. There you go. And just pick one. You don't need to know them all. Hope that helps.
Yeah, you'll be forever chasing them all if you try and pick them all.
Exactly.
You start looking at all the job descriptions and what they want. It's like you're never gonna learn all that. It's impossible. Pick one stack and stick with it.
Stick with it.
Let's see. Matthew says, I learned Java at university. Will this knowledge help me learn C#? Are there
100%.
any similarities?
They look almost identical from a syntax standpoint. Now, the .NET framework is different than the Java JDK, so they're different in that regard of like how like string builder works in C# versus how you do that in Java. But like an if statement, a for loop, a switch statement, all those things look identical. I think it was built that way in the beginning.
Yeah, because that's why it was built, right? In the beginning, it was built as a
probably
competitor to Java, right? So trying to
they would never say that, but you know, so it was a play on C++, and this was plus.
Yeah. We know what they were trying to do. They were trying to take some of Java's
convert
market,
Java developers.
But,
and they
and
did.
To convert them, familiarity is kind of important.
So if you're learning Java, if you learn Java Spring MVC, then moving over to ASP.NET MVC is a natural thing that you can learn how to do. So it should be a lot easier than just start from scratch.
Okay. Rich Raider says, that we take another week and write a new tool for fixing the learning platforms renewals.
We have zero visibility into that. Yeah, so there's a lot of
like, that easy.
There's PayPal, and then there's also Stripe, and there's a lot of these things that we have also integrated with the third. We can't change.
See, it makes sense, right? When I started looking at it, I was like, well, of course it makes sense. Like, you wouldn't want to say, I wouldn't as a consumer want to subscribe to something and then allow them just to be able to like change it on a whim, like just basically change our contract to be like, we're just going to bill you early, I'll just bill you later, or whatever it is. Like, it is what it is. You've agreed to it through PayPal or through Stripe, and it is like, it's hosted on, not even on the LMS, it's hosted on either PayPal or Stripe. So you control your own subscriptions from there. We don't get to control them. So it's like, it makes sense. Like, we unfortunately we couldn't fix it even if we wanted to try and fix it. We couldn't. So,
but I think going forward we won't have this problem. So we're already launched.
Yeah, so the first time.
It's a one-time thing.
Yeah. It just wasn't built for being pre-sold. The platform wasn't. It's like, but, we wanted to do it that way so we could
write a new tool. Yeah, man.
Yeah. So if you're listening, Kajabi, get on that. We need
get on that
pre-sale stuff, please. That'd be great. Let's see. Luke wants to know, is it smart to turn down a well-paying DevOps position as you're writing Python scripts? Because I'm hoping for a junior C# role. I want to be a C# dev.
Yes.
Is it though? I don't know.
Was it smart? No. I would take the money.
I was going to say, like, that goes against your position normally.
So that's what I mean. Like, I would take the money. I would take the well-paying DevOps position. Luke, I would do that. I would continue to learn C# on the side. Then I'd have I did DevOps for Azure writing Python scripts on my resume, and then now I'm going to interview for the C# position, show projects. You probably make more money in that second role anyway, even if it is your first C# role. So, to quote Vin Diesel, take the money, Toombs. So if you've ever seen Chronicles of Riddick. So I always think making money is better than not. And so and adding experience is way more beneficial than you think.
Oh, yeah.
So take the DevOps role, do it, write some Python, continue to learn C# on the side, and you'll be a C# dev.
Yeah. You have this thing that your first job isn't your last job, so even if it's
not your last job,
even if it's tangentially related to being a dev, it's like that's gonna help you.
Yeah, it's gonna help. You can put it on your resume. You got experience. So.
Yep, and it also depends what you're doing now, Luke. Too. That's the other
But if you turned it down, Luke, I don't want you to feel bad. So if you turn it down, you're like, okay, just go after C#. Keep doing what you're doing. You'll get there.
Yeah, and if it comes up and you right now you're doing something not related at all to tech, and this is a little bit closer, take the one that's a little bit closer. That's kind of the thing.
Yeah.
But maybe right now you're doing something else. Maybe you are doing something maybe you're doing, I don't know, QA or support desk or something or whatever it may be. As long as it's kind of close, that experience will translate. It'll be easier.
Put it this way, Luke. We've had people that have delivered pizza and washed cars, and that next job was a C# dev job.
Yeah.
So if you came in and you're interviewing right beside that person, assuming your skills are similar, junior C# dev, but you've had DevOps experience and they have washing cars experience, you're going to definitely get a better look than that other person is. So think about that for as building out your resume, building out your experience. And we take people from zero to hero all the time. They have no experience. I was a bartender. I was doing something else that's unrelated to dev. My next job is a dev job. So if you have a dev role in a DevOps position, writing custom Python scripts, you're definitely going to be put up to a higher tier when they're interviewing for those C# roles.
Oh, here you go. So Luke's doing QA right now. So, okay.
Yeah.
So it's exactly what I was thinking about.
You're probably writing scripts in QA. I mean, some QA platforms you have to write scripts for them. I haven't looked at the current ones recently, but I can remember in the recent number of years, maybe 5 to 6 years ago, the QA company came through Foundry and they were trying to hire people. And that, believe it or not, was some type of VB and C# scripts that they were writing unit tests with, and also writing QA so that it would automatically perform certain operations. So there's two sides to QA that can happen. So yeah, I think it helps tons. You also learn a lot about how software should be built, how UIs work, and QA and development helps you when you're writing your own stuff.
There you go. Cool.
Definitely make you a better debugger for sure. Because it breaks all the time. So,
Okay, we're a little bit after, so let's wrap up. We'll be back on Thursday. We're here every Tuesday.
Back on Thursday.
And Thursday. I should say most Tuesdays and Thursdays we're here. There's one in a blue moon we're not. But here at noon Eastern, doing these. We'll probably do a portfolio review on Thursday. I'll put out a form probably later today or tomorrow. If you guys want to enter your portfolios into that form, we'll take a look at them on the feed on Thursday. We'll give some feedback.
Check the giveaway. If you want to win a laptop or a chance to win, go fill out our little form. There you go. You go fill it out. Hit the QR code right there. It'll take you right there to it.
You can also, if you don't trust QR codes, I get it. I keep seeing this story on the news all the time. Don't go to QR codes. Okay.
Right.
Firstly, you can trust us, right? I promise. We're honest.
It'll go to the
secondly, it's just codefoundry.com/giveaway is what it goes to.
Yep.
So you can just go type that in if you want to. codefoundry.com/giveaway.
We'll give away a MacBook or a Surface Book, some Oculus, and a year subscription to Learn.CoderFoundry. So it's a pretty big prize. We just wanted to give people enough time to do it, just to get to 100K, and then we'll give it away.
Lots of time.
So it should be fun.
Yep.
All right.
Cool.
I'm sure we'll get more subs as we get closer. So
maybe.
So
it'll be more interested when it gets close to it. Yeah.
Yep. We'll give it away.
Cool. Okay.
All right.
So
good luck, guys. Keep coding. We'll see you later.
See you guys later.